Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. Today, I am really excited to have Lisa Marie Pepe. So Lisa Marie is a positive transformation coach where she empowers her clients to fully embrace their unique gifts and talents by providing them with the skills they need to develop rock-solid confidence, build brand visibility online, and turn their wisdom into wealth. Lisa Marie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me.
So when you and I came across each other, right, I was really intrigued on the system that you have set up here. So first of all, you have a Facebook group that's called the Confidence Hub for Passionate and Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. But also you have a series of online courses and a lot of material that goes into motivational material, mindset mastery, and also just being a positive transformation coach for other types of entrepreneurs. I was wondering if you could take a few minutes and sort of introduce yourself and explain a little bit more about what it is that you do.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I blend both confidence coaching and online visibility strategy, and working with newer online entrepreneurs and even those that have been in the online space for, maybe 1 or 2 years, but they're still really looking to build up that confidence, really turn a corner in their entrepreneurial journey, get more visible, really transform that wisdom into wealth. And I love every single day of my life. I really do, even on the tough days, and I've been through some really tough stuff this past year. And yet I'm still so grateful that I get to wake up and do this work because it's very meaningful for me. It's very meaningful for me to empower other people who are passionate, they're purpose driven. They want to make an impact in the world. They want to do good things in the world. And for me to be able to help facilitate that or to help lead them and guide them is truly, it's a blessing and it's an honor. And so everything that I do, I give thanks to God, and really do believe that I'm finally in a place and space in my own life that I feel very much aligned with my divine purpose. And that wasn't always the case.
Isn't it amazing where once you find it, it's like, it just makes everything worthwhile, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It
All
just
the
makes everything
struggles,
worth it, right?
absolutely. All the struggles, all the insecurities, all the anxiety, beforehand, it somehow gives it meaning, and it somehow, like you said, all of a sudden you understand why, right? You understand why you had to go through all those other hoops and all those other doors closed and all those other things happened for you, not to you, but for you, to, in order for you to arrive at the place you're currently at. And I don't really know if I would go back and change anything. Even what led me to become an entrepreneur, in hindsight, I mean, it was a life-altering injury about 8 years ago now. And at the time, sure, I was devastated. I couldn't do the work that I was doing. I was a massage therapist at the time. But, again, in hindsight, just looking back, I don't know if I would have ever discovered my true calling had I not had that awful experience.
That's very interesting that you say that. So one of the things that, and this is actually segueing into your one big tip, is that this isn't just a question of you using your hero's journey in order to help others achieve their greatness, right? You actually have you actually have a process and a system for helping people channel that, and that is through creating Facebook groups, right?
Hmm.
I was
Yes.
wondering
Yep.
if
That.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the Facebook group model, how that has worked, how that has worked in your space, and what kind of results you have seen by creating this direct engagement space in order to enhance the lives of the people that you work with.
Sure, that's an excellent question. And yeah, I would love to talk about that. So when I first started this online journey and being a coach, my very first marketing coach about 5 years ago said to me, you need to start your own Facebook group. And this was before groups were super popular. This was before it was all the rage. Now we see commercials on television for Facebook groups for, I don't know if you've seen any of these, but literally it's like kazoo playing, club, and they the most random Facebook groups you could possibly imagine, and there's like hundreds of thousands of members, right?
Yeah, you know what's interesting was that Facebook did that campaign internationally. And I was in Brazil a few months ago where they were projecting that exact. So I first saw that saw that campaign in a shopping mall in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and I was
Wow.
and they localized it for each country
Oh, wow.
that they were in, and I was looking like, wow, that's interesting, like,
Yeah.
and then I came back here and it's like, wow, they're doing the exact same campaign but localized. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And so this was before all that, before Facebook groups were all the rage. And so I started this group, and I'm someone who's very I'm just guided a lot by my intuition. And when I was starting up my group, I was also creating my very first opt-in, right? Freebie or lead magnet. And I was building my very first funnel. And, I had this idea. It did not come from coach, actually. I came up with this on my own. And I think she saw me do it and she was like, that's really interesting. She's like, I think I'm going to start doing that. And I was like, okay. Because I'm not making mistakes. So I will, I mean, within a normal range of, but if it's something online, like a new software, let's say, or a new program or a new feature of some kind, like, I'm going to try it, right? Because what's the worst that can happen? I can always delete something and I can always erase it if I don't like the way it looks or something like that. So I decided that I was going to welcome people into the group as I was organically promoting the group. I would welcome people in. I would tag people. This is before Facebook automatically tagged people. And we still do it. And we've been doing it now for 4 or 5 years. And so I've got 1,700 people, just about 1,700 in that group. I'm looking at the numbers right now. It's like 1,695 or something. So we're ready to turn that corner to 1,700. And I would say at least for them download the guide that they're offered, and then that them into funnel where they can have a trial membership for my paid groups, and it's a really uncomplicated funnel, but it has a lot of power. And I really do advise people who are starting groups, and now I see this all the time, of course, because you can ask questions beforehand and things, which again, I didn't have any of that at my disposal when I was doing it. But it's a really nice, easy way of providing a ton of value and starting on what could be the client journey.
So what happens after you all right, so let me just recap then, because there was a little bit of a break in the audio. You create the group, you organically invite people into the group, you welcome them by tagging them directly and offering them a chance to download your free guide. So once they download your free guide, then they get into your email list, right? So that becomes that's the first stage of your funnel. What happens after that?
So then on the thank you page, where so they would enter their name and their email address to get the free guide, And while they're waiting for the free guide to come and to be delivered to their email, they get a option that pops up on the screen. It says, hey, thanks for, downloading your guide. It's on its way to your inbox. By the way, while you're here and while you're waiting, check out the Business Basics Bootcamp, where you can get a 2-week free trial, offer good for only the next 24 hours. And so they have an option right there, and it's not a huge commitment because it's a very small, first of all, it's free for the first 2 weeks. And then even after, it's like a $37 a month option. So that is a potential upsell, right? And if they don't necessarily bite at that, which is okay, we then, in that first email that delivers the actual playbook, we then give them another shot and we say, hey, look, don't forget, within the next 24 hours, that offer goes away. And then the rate is $67 a month, which is true. So we give them a lot of incentive in the beginning. And then if not, they just follow through and into the regular funnel, they, whatever, particular promotion or whatnot I have going on. Sometimes it's just a call, with me. Sometimes it's a group program. Depends on, the season and what we're doing with it. But that funnel is a very solid funnel. And the opt-in for the Rookie Coaches Playbook, because we've run it on several different pages, we've run it through several different ad campaigns, it always stays at about an 80% conversion, which is really, really high.
That's an amazing conversion rate.
I know. And I'm trying to figure out how to replicate that with some other opt-ins that I have, but it's about 80% of the people who land on the page to download the free guide wind up downloading it. And that's how I've built my email list, i.e. my business.
Okay. So once they get on the email list, right, and they become part of this program, what happens then? Like what kind of follow-up programs do you have for them?
Well, let's see. So if they decide to join the membership group, then they'll get, a welcome email into that. And then in that group, that's a separate Facebook group. We do other types of trainings. We bring in guest experts. We do live social media reviews, all kinds of things that, for $37 a month is pretty value packed. And if they don't do that, and they wind up going through the rest of the journey, which is the rest of the emails, depending on whatever the call to action is. So 6 months ago, I was running a mastermind. So those people who went through that funnel were given a choice, or an option, I should say, towards the middle or end of that funnel to fill out an application to become a part of a mastermind that I was running. That's a little bit of a higher ticket item. And when they've gone through the entire funnel, then they go into the general list. They're still tagged with whatever they came in with. So we could always segment later, but they do go into the general email list, and then they get my general emails. Like, for example, if we send out an email for this podcast, right, they would get that email. And I would say even about 90% of them stay in the Facebook group, and they get a lot of value. The free Facebook group, they get a lot of value in there because we have people posting. Yeah, we have people posting every day. I have a community manager now who helps me because I can't be there all the time. So he's incredible at managing and keeping the engagement up. So it's really good.
So what started out as a solarpreneur project has now become something that has legs and has additional people helping you out in order to manage this community and be more visible. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's absolutely accurate. So in the beginning, it was just me. Mm-hmm. And then maybe about a year in, when we hit like the 600, 700, 800 mark, I was like, okay, I can't possibly handle all this by myself, because we do daily themes. There's a post that goes up every single day, and those posts have to get scheduled, right? It takes a little bit of effort to have a successful Facebook group. It's not you just throw it up there, pray that people come, and then once in a while give them something to bite on. Like, that's not the way they work. You have to be invested in it, and you have to devote time to it, and you have to devote your attention to it. And if you can't be there, I don't want to say 24/7, but if you can't be there when people are asking questions and everything throughout the day, then you do need help. And so I hired my VA about 4 years ago. So she does all of the posting in the group. So I've created all the content, but she schedules all the posts. And likewise, I hired a manager, community manager, about a year ago. And his whole job, his whole role is to facilitate engagement. And so he'll ask really provoking questions. He'll let people know that they're never alone. So if they ask a question, he'll say something like, this is a really great question. Here are my thoughts. And then we'll wait to hear what Lisa Marie Pepe has to say. So he'll tag me and I know exactly where to go. So I get that notification and I can go in and address that person's question or their concern or whatnot.
That is really, really actionable. You just walk through step
Yeah.
by step the exact funnel that people should be building when they want to create a Facebook group. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
This is
you.
good. This is going to be a fun one to type up. Lisa Marie, why don't you tell people about how to find the group and how they can reach out to you if they want to get involved or they want to reach out to you directly? Where can they find you?
Sure, thank you. So on Facebook, if you type into the search box, the Confidence Hub, HUB, the Confidence Hub, it will auto-populate. And the full title is the Confidence Hub for Passionate and Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. And if you want to go directly to the email address, it's just facebook.com/groups/the Confidence Hub. And if they want to get in touch with me, it's super easy because I'm a visibility strategist. I try to make myself very visible. And if you want to connect with me on Facebook, that's wonderful. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, that's wonderful. But you can just put my name into a Google search. And I promise you, every social media profile I have, every blog post, every podcast, I will show up. So it's easier for you just to Google me rather than for me to say, oh, go specifically to this, because I want you to connect with me wherever you feel comfortable. If it's on LinkedIn, great. If it's on Twitter, awesome. Like wherever it is, I'll be there.
That is amazing. Lisa Marie, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited that you walked through the exact steps to create that initial funnel, what's involved with it, what are the next steps. I think all of this is very actionable advice that anyone who is looking to start their own group and start their own community will appreciate. Thank you so much for going through all of that.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. No one's ever asked me about that, actually. I'm really happy that I had a chance to talk about it. Because usually I'm always giving away like motivation and inspiration and and I love that stuff as well. But then I think I lose sight of the fact sometimes that like I do have processes and systems in place and they're not by accident, right? They've all been built intentionally and some are super successful, others have not been. And of course, you're always tweaking and learning as an entrepreneur. And so whatever help I can pass on to another, then so be it. That's the way I look at it.
That's wonderful. Lisa Marie, thank you very much for being on the show. This has been very eye-opening.
Great. Thanks, Jeff.